Hey everyone! Today we are talking about something that I love. It's the whole idea of connection and having relationships where you feel heard and connected and supported in your life. I try really hard to share myself and be authentic and connect with you as much as I possibly can as I'm taping in a kind of a recording studio. But the more that I get to know you, the more that I share of myself, the better it is. So there's some really great research, and you might have heard of the 36 questions that get you to fall in love with anybody. Well, I'm not necessarily talking about falling in love with everyone, but I do want to introduce you to why they're so useful and how you might be able to use the magic. So in this video, we're going to go through the first set of questions. I'll share my answers on a couple of them, but I'll help you understand what's underlying these questions and why they're so useful so you can use them yourself. So let's do it. Back in 1997, Arthur and Elaine Aron, a couple of psychologists, did a research study trying to understand if people talked in a certain way and shared things about themselves, did that lead to bigger and better connection? The short answer is yes, it did. The first set of questions starts out light, kind of eases you into the process of sharing things about yourself and being a little bit vulnerable. But don't be fooled, because each one of these questions helps you share, listen, and become a little closer to the person that you're talking to in a way that really forms a great connection. By the time you get to the more personal and revealing questions, you've really set the stage by starting here. So let's go through the first set of questions together. I'll share my answers, and I hope that you'll think about what yours might be too. You can use this to think about your life and how you relate to people, but you can also try it out on somebody you might know and want to get closer to, or maybe somebody new. As we go through the questions, try to notice how each one nudges us forward in being a little more connected. Question number 1. Given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest? This is a heck of a question. Who would I want as a dinner guest if I could talk to anyone in the world? I'm obviously not very good at these things. I want to share. It just doesn't easily come to me who I'd actually pick. Oprah? I don't know, that might be a little weird. This question is great because it taps some of our values and our interests. It's kind of an icebreaker for who we are and what we care about. Obviously, I'm not much of anybody and I must not care about anything. Question number 2. Would you like to be famous, and in what way? Now for me, I don't like the idea of fame at all. I don't want to have to go out to dinner and have somebody be like, hey, I know you, can I have your time and energy? When I just want to spend time with a friend or my family. I want to impact people, that's very cool, but being famous doesn't sound all that fun. This question is interesting because it starts to help us dig into our values and how we want to be seen by the world. This helps other people understand our motives and our aspirations in life. Question number 3. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say and why? Yeah, who doesn't rehearse things? I think about what I'm going to say in conversations, or what I'm going to say on the phone, or what kind of message I'm going to leave. You know, I like to be prepared. I like to come across as competent and professional and so on, and not some blithering blah, blah, blah. This question is helpful because it helps to reveal some of our anxieties or the things that we might worry about, and it makes us more of a real person. We want to understand that we're all a real person and we all have those kinds of anxieties. Question number 4. What would constitute a perfect day for you? All right, perfect days. Perfect days are getting up early because I love the morning, doing some kind of like jog or workout thing that's outside, probably because I love being in nature, not being rushed at all, being productive in some way, spending time with people I love, being creative, likely taking a nap because I love naps, having libations with people I adore in some beautiful scene, enjoying my significant other to no end, playing with the kids and just reveling in them. I don't know if all this could fit in one day. The idea here is to share your passions, to share your joys, to share the things that make you happy. What a wonderful thing to share with someone that you want to get to know better. Question number 5. When did you last sing to yourself or to someone else? Well, this is kind of funny because I just did a video on neuroplasticity in music. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. And I started it off by like singing and playing my ukulele. Yes, I am no singer. No, it doesn't sound good. But anyway, that was in front of, whoever watched that video. So maybe a big audience. I sing to my kids constantly. They're like, "Oh, Mom, you're singing the Scooby-Doo song again."
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now.
Right. So this question is fun because it can be playful, but it also shows how comfortable we are doing various things, how we relate to our loved ones, to ourselves, kind of opening a window that you wouldn't normally share with other people. Question number 6. If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old over the last 60 years of your life, which would you want? To me, this is such a no-brainer. Our physical health gets more challenging over time. So I'm going to keep the body of a 30-year-old just because I don't want all the health problems. I don't want to be at the doctor all the time. All of my patients say they're just constantly at doctors. So I'm keeping the body of a 30-year-old, hopefully a very healthy, active 30-year-old. But I'm not giving up the mind of my mind as I age and I become more wise and I have new insights and just ways of relating to people that are so much more mature. Oh my goodness. Of course I want the mind of somebody who is aging wonderfully over time. That seems like such an easy question. I don't know, maybe you guys are all thinking about it very differently. But this idea helps us think about what we really value in life. Our physical vitality, our intellect, wisdom, this youthful spirit, which I seem to believe you can have at any age. So I think that's a really fun question to be able to interact with other people about. All right, question number 7. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? Well, if I have to go there, I've always had a fear that I would die in like a snowy or rainy or bad weather car accident. I don't know where that came from. When I was little, one time I was driving with my mom and we like spun off the road in a snowstorm, in a Minnesota snowstorm. And it was very scary for me. So maybe that's where it came from. I think this question is useful because, sharing our thoughts on mortality, how we might die, how we think about that can be a really meaningful and unusual, atypical way of connecting with people. That kind of deeper topic just doesn't lightly come up when you're starting to get to know someone. Question number 8. Name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common. Well, I don't know who's over there watching me. I would love to name 3 things we have in common. Off the top of my head, we have our humanity. And what that means to me is that, what I say to everyone is, we're all messed up. Here's my flavor, what's yours? And then the flavors of being messed up, I might talk about when I'm scared of things or when I'm deeply, deeply happy or, just all the stuff that we want in life. I think we have in common that there's somebody that we care about so thoroughly that it almost hurts on the inside. There's so many things that we might have in common. And if I were actually interacting with you, it would be really cool to explore them. And this is lovely because it's about how do we connect? How do we have common ground? You may look really different. You may be a different age. You may have very different beliefs in life, but there are commonalities. And it's those commonalities that really help us feel like the other person hears us and gets us and can understand us at some level. All right, and question number 9. For what in your life do you feel most grateful? Gratitude is just amazing. It brings people together. We can connect about the things that we love. I am so grateful, for this moment to be alive, to have opportunities like this to connect with people. Blah, 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 the list goes on and on. But when I relate to one person, I think a different flavor comes out, just depending on the conversation and the person and where I'm at. And your ability to just pick whatever comes out for you in that moment and sharing it can really be connecting. All right, question number 10. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? Oh boy, I hope nobody on my family's watching this. My family, I find them to be a bit critical. I have a very, my family is intelligent and successful in a lot of ways. And sometimes the flavor I get from them is that, they are all very smart and very capable and all these wonderful things, and that everybody else is a little bit dumb. And they don't actually say that. I don't think they actually mean that, but it's a little of this kind of critical, judgmental kind of tone to it. And I would love to, if I could wave my magic wand, have changed that to have my family be a little more kind and understanding and connecting than that judgmental tone. And this question really helps us think about our past, who we are and how we became to be this way, and sharing any little slice of that can be really a lovely way to be a bit vulnerable at whatever level you feel comfortable doing that. All right, 2 more questions. Question number 11, take 4 minutes and tell your partner your life story in as much detail as possible. So this is such an activity. It's not just a question, it's an activity, and it's really powerful. Sharing our life story in detail, especially when you have to be concise. It's like being forced to say a haiku about your life. It really pushes you to identify like what truly matters. What are the hallmarks of my life? And I think it's a very efficient, quick way to build connection and trust and empathy by being forced to do that. So if I had to, much more shorter version of it, it's, Brady Bunch, that wasn't so much the Brady Bunch, evolved into being everything I can be and saving the world until I realized that nobody actually needs to be saved. So, what a great question. Last one. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be? And, that one idea is that this thinks about our self-improvement and how we want to be better. But I think it can be deeper than that as well. The idea that I come up with when I think about, what superhuman, superpower could you have or whatever, I often come to the idea that I would want to know what's really going on in somebody's mind or head or body or story or whatever. I look at you and you don't feel well. Oh, you actually have cancer, and we could treat that. I look at you and you say your day is great, and it's actually not, and I know why. Knowing the real story, I think that might be kind of hard sometimes, but it might also be joyous and so authentic. So I don't know if I'd actually end up wanting that or not, but that's what always comes to mind for me. But it really, this question helps us think about, again, what's important and how would you do that if you could wave your magic wand? And these questions just catapult us into kind of a different dimension of relationship. So these questions, they might be simple. I ran through them pretty quickly, but they are just powerful to set the stage for connection. So I encourage you to use them, to think about even one of these questions for someone for someone you kind of know, for someone where you're waiting in line at the bank and you say something like, there's this thing about 36 questions you fall in love with anybody. Well, don't worry, I'm not trying to fall in love with you. But one of them was really interesting. It was this. Could I tell you mine? I would love to hear yours. That kind of opportunity could be priceless. So thank you so much for coming today. This is the first set of questions out of the 36. I can't wait to get to the other ones with you in the upcoming videos where we talk about them. And if this is fun, if you want to connect more deeply with people, then feel free to join our community. This Beautiful Brain, we have a weekly newsletter, and I would love to get you into the group and get to know you more. It's free, so no worries. All right, I'll put the link below. You can check out some more videos. I'll see you next week for some more awesome questions on connection. Bye.